What's going on, guys? So we haven't done one of these wheel and tire comparisons in quite a while, and so I figured we had to do one between the 22x12s and the 24x12s because they are similar, but they're also very different. They both have pros and cons to each size. So if we come over here and look at what we're going to be comparing, 22x12 -44 Ballistic Rage and 33x12.50 22 Arturo Trailblade MT. I've had these for like 4 years. They've been mudding, they've been drag racing, tons of burnouts, tons of miles on the road, tons of different vehicles. They've been through it all, and I still absolutely love the setup. And it's still, to this day, after all that abuse, it still rides pretty dang good, and it's still got a pretty good bit of tread. Over here is the new setup, which is a 24x12 -44 Hard Rock Spine with the Land Spider Wild Tracks MT 33x12.50 24. And it's crazy, back when I got these 4 years ago, I thought these were huge, man, 22s. And now sitting here looking at them, they look like 20s. You know, you put them on a small truck like Larry or something, they'll look big, but you put them on one of these trucks, the new trucks, it's just huge, the wheels will look small. And so I had to go with 24s on the new setup. I absolutely love them on the truck. I think they fit very, very well, and they look great on the truck, as you can see back there. But I know this is a popular setup that people are debating on going either smaller wheel, a little more sidewall, or bigger wheel, a little bit less sidewall. And obviously different wheel brands, different tire brands, some can come different. I'm going to show you exactly here. So the Arturos are known for running a little bit small. We got a tape measure, we got the scale, we're going to weigh them, we're going to measure them, but let's just look at them real quick. So 33x12.50 22, the Arturos run skinny. Look, you got the lugs ending here and your wheels here, but if you look, you actually do have some wheel protection on this setup. So obviously a 22 with a 33 is going to have more sidewall than the 24 and the 33. What does all of that mean as far as weight though? Well, typically the bigger the wheel, the bigger the weight. That's typically how it goes. It's a price you pay for it to look good. But let's go ahead and roll these things over to the flat ground. We'll set the iPhone up, we'll measure them, and then we'll weigh them and have a direct side-by-side between them. So these are brand new. These are obviously not going to be a little bit shorter than they come brand new, of course, but we're still going to compare them. So let's go ahead and measure them. None of these ever measure out to the full number. So if we look right there, it's got it right at 32 inches, right above 32 inches. Right here. That's got this one at like 31 3/4. So now let's measure our sidewall. We've got, looks like right at, from the top of the lip of the wheel to the top of the tire, that's right at 4 inches. Top of the wheel, top of the tire, it's like right at 3 1/4. So not a huge difference, if we're being honest, between the two tire brands on the 22 versus the 24. Wheel to wheel, you're going to measure out the whole actual wheel is going to be about 25.5, obviously inside to inside. That's your 24. Over here, whole wheel on the outside is a little bit smaller than a 24, so you could technically fit this guy, the whole lip and all, in the barrel of this one. Inside of this, 21 3/4. Now if we're talking offset, it definitely depends on what your spokes are like, depending on how big your lip is. So if we measure from the outside of the spoke on this one, we are right at 5 3/4. If we measure from like where it goes up into, it's like 6 1/4. So these spokes kind of hook down, so they poke out pretty far. So right there, that's a perfect 5-inch lip at the spoke, you know, right up to there. That's like 5 and almost 5.5. If you go to the back of the spoke where it kind of looks like the wheel rolls into, that's 6.5 inches. So there's your size comparisons. Obviously all over the place, different brands, going to be a lot different. Let's fold them sideways and see the width, because that's going to be the big thing. All right, so we're going to measure from lug to lug. Get that first, because that's what's going to give it that wide look. So from lug to lug, you're right at 10.5 inches. We go from this lug to this lug, that is 12 inches. So that's why this one looks so much wider, because the lugs actually go out the full width of the tire versus this one where it's got that rounded look. The actual tread is much, much skinnier. So if we go from the actual outside, and this is, you know, not the most perfected technique of measuring, it's showing 13.5 inches of total width. So that's why it actually is giving you a little bit of, you know, protection over this 12-inch wide wheel. From the outside band, it's about the same. That's right about maybe a little bit less than 13.5. But obviously on this one, you've got a lot more roundness. The tire kind of lays over and then goes to the wheel, versus this one is more squared off, which in my opinion, this looks much better because this is much wider and much larger looking than this does on the truck. All right, so this is probably the most important difference between them, because obviously the more weight that you have, rotational mass, the more performance you lose and the more fuel economy you lose. So you don't want to go get a super heavy setup and not be able to buy gas, get smoked by everybody if that's a problem or that's something you're worried about. But it's gonna probably be a pretty big difference between the two. So I'm gonna say that's probably it right there. 100, it was like 103. Time for the monster. I already know these things are super freaking heavy. You can definitely feel the difference on the truck, which makes me sad, but they look incredible, so it's a trade-off. Holy crap. So that right there, which I said in a previous video that they were 115. I measured them really quick the other day. I think they're actually heavier than that. So 120. 120 pounds. The difference is absolutely insane. You can feel it so dramatically. It's crazy. The truck going drag racing with it with 120 plus pound wheel and tires. That's insane. So that is so much weight, and that's rotational weight, which is obviously the most important and the most detrimental if it's heavy. All right guys, well hopefully you did enjoy the video, and hopefully this was somewhat entertaining and helpful. If you're going to buy wheels and tires, maybe you wanted to know this information before buying some. So personally, it sucks that they're heavy 24s, but to me they look amazing. I'll throw in a clip, if I haven't already, of the 22s on this truck and then the 24s on here, and that'll also help you decide, because some people like that smaller wheel, more sidewall, which is crazy. I'm saying that about 22s and 33s. It's just, wheels have gotten so huge. Everybody loves big wheels now. So hopefully y'all did enjoy this comparison. Definitely leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. I've got the stock 20s and the 35s. I can compare them to the 24s as well if y'all want to, or the 22s, or whatever the case. But with that being said, hopefully you did enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.